you ever feel that you are unable to leave a long-lasting impression on somebody? Or maybe you are unable to present yourself confidently? Well, you are not alone. Good morning and welcome everybody to yet another session of Soft Skill, a mantra to success, organized by Gujranwala Guru Nanak Institute of Management and Technology. This is Professor Priya Arora from the same college. And today we shall be talking more about such soft skills which are very important for your professional and personal growth. Before moving on to the topic, let's just talk about communication. A very important aspect, a very important base that you need to establish more of the soft skills. Communication is the key to growth. Communication is not only what you say. Communication is to hear what is not being said. Many a times, whenever we are in conversation with some other individual, the person might be saying something, but in reality, the perception might differ. And here lies the core point when you have to understand what the person has been trying to convey to us. And for that, we must understand that if we talk about communication, it is less of verbal communication and more of non-verbal communication. In the previous session of assertiveness, we came across the question that few of the individuals are unable to present their viewpoints and the other person tend to think that they are rude. The problem lies in the way you communicate, right? For that purpose, we must understand that the verbal communication takes 7% of your message, that means your words through which you convey your message. The rest depends upon the way you speak. Means it is not only what you say, but how you say something. Along with that, you need your a good voice modulation, your pitch, your tone also matters the most. Along with that, your gestures, the way you move your hands, the way you present your body, the way you enter any organization or any cabin of a senior person maybe. So it depends upon your verbal along with non-verbal aspects, that is your voice, your pitch, your voice modulation, your body language. We must have heard of this line many a times since our childhood, that first impression is the last impression. But dear friends, it is not only the first impression which leaves a last impression, it leaves a lasting impression. Now let me clarify it for you. Whenever we meet any new individual, right? Maybe it is our first meeting and afterwards we do not meet them at all. Or maybe we meet them quite often afterwards as well. But whether we meet or not, but the first time when we met that particular individual, the impression that you must have created on the person and same way as the impression that the other individual must have created on you, that would stay the same. And that is why we say that you will never get the second chance to leave that first impression. And to leave a good first impression, you not only need the verbal aspect only, you need to have a good personality, means you have to work on your basic grooming, the aura that you create, the positivity that you carry, along with the confidence that you carry. Also, we have to work on our body language, our postures, the way we meet or greet with other individuals, right? And researchers found that we make 11 major decisions that too within a very short time, that is 7 seconds. That means when you go in front of any individual, when you meet some new people around, right, you are being judged. Everybody is being judged, willingly, unwillingly, knowingly, unknowingly, you are being judged. That means when you enter any cabin, right, your dress would be noticed, right, the way you walk in, the way you take the chair, the way you sit, everything is being noticed. And suppose you go for an interview, right? Now the interviewer's task is to see whether you are a suitable candidate or not. For that purpose, they are quite often going to judge you on the same ground. Before you speak, you will be judged according to your personality. For that purpose, it becomes all the more important that you leave a good first impression. So a good professional image comprises of these 3 major elements if we talk about the first instance when you meet somebody. One, how you present your body, how you present, the way you walk into the cabin, take the chair, sit, talk, and other things. Then the way you greet an individual, whereby we will be talking about the art of handshake. It might sound weird to many of you that what does this means now? What is this art of handshake? We shall be talking about in further slides. Now the last come, or an important one, the gestures. You must have noticed while I am talking here, I am continuously either moving my hands or I am moving here and there around, right to left, left to right. This is what gesture is all about. The way you move your hands while you are in conversation with somebody, right? So we should be talking about these three aspects. Now, if we talk about leaving a good, fantastic first impression, it is not a one, it doesn't have only one aspect. It is your personality, the way you speak, the confidence you carry, and the way you are able to present your, you can say, viewpoints to some other person, right? Moving on. Body language, the very first aspect. Now, if we talk about body language, that means you know the message. Hard skills you have been learning in your life for like 20 years or 25 years of your education, you have been working upon how to do something. Now, that means hard skills need much more time comparatively if we talk about soft skills. So, hard skills could be learned in 20, 23, 25 years, but soft skills, my friends, it is like you need to invest very less time to learn these skills, and they are going to pay you more in comparison to your hard skills. For that, you need to see that body language means the non-verbal communication that you do. Means you are talking to somebody. Let's say you want to convey so your boss gives you some message, gives you some work to perform, right? Deep down, you are not interested to do the work. There could be two ways to deal with the same. One, you are talking to them and you are, through words you are saying yes sir, but your expression is speaking against you, or your body language, it shows a resistance that you do not want to perform the work. And second could be being assertive, conveying your viewpoint whether you can or you cannot do the work. And third is, you know that you are into professional field, you have to do the work, you have to say yes to it, then why not in a positive way itself and with the positive body language itself, right? So it is non-verbal communication whereby there is body movement is involved, also the gestures, postures, voice modulation, everything comprises of the same. Right. So when we talk about non-verbal body language, it is about the way you talk. That means your pauses, your stress of the words. Some words are of utmost importance, you put more stress on it. Some are of less, and you keep going on and on and on. Then your posture, the way you stand, the way you sit when you are talking or you are in conversation with somebody. The way you are moving, whether you are standing quite close to the person or maybe quite behind the at a gap from the person, that also counts. Then your appearance, the way you have groomed yourself. Then your head movement, nodding your head, saying yes or no. Or next we have is hand movement. While you are using, one could be you are using your hands and the area is this much only. Second could be you are using your hands like this and this. That means the first aspect, quite obvious, it looks better in comparison to the second thing that I just said. Right? Then your eyes movement, the way you move your eyes, it could be rolling up your eyes when you are uninterested or disinterested, or you are not in favor of something, then this could also count. Then you have is your facial expression, body contact, shaking hands when you meet or greet any new person around. Then the closeness, as I have already explained, and the sounds as in your voice, your pitch. Suppose somebody has cracked some very good joke around and you start laughing out loud. Laughing out loud in professional environment doesn't actually mean laughing out loud. So you have to take care of this thing as well. So it is not what you do not say that counts. Learn to read and influence people through non-verbal communication. Also, one is working on your body language, and the second aspect is working on or we can say to learn to know how to read somebody else's body language. Like in this photograph, in this picture, it is clearly obvious that in first picture you can see that the legs are closed here. That means the person is less open to communication, right? Then if we say this one, the posture here is this, like this. That means the person is being defensive. Or the third says, when the body says that this person is quite confident, the others are stupid enough. So you have to learn the tactics to read somebody else's body language. So to start with body language, that how can we work? We'll start from here, right? From your head to toe, we'll move towards it. One is, whenever you meet any individual, whenever you are in conversation with any individual, ensure that you maintain eye contact. Even if the person is new, or your friend, or your boss, or anybody with whom you are talking to, right? So eye contact is very important. Now, if we say eye contact, that doesn't mean staring into the eyes of other person. It has to be polite. That means you are conveying that you are interested in the conversation with other person. You are showing interest that whatever the person is saying, you are valuing his or her opinion. So you can see hereby, one is maintaining eye contact, and second is staring at individual and gazing at somebody, right? So eye contact is important, but never stare. Now, handshake etiquette. Suppose you are sitting at a desk, right? Somebody enters into your cabin, and obvious aspects would be, you look at the person, means that you have to maintain eye contact first, then you will greet the individual. There could be 2-3 ways to greet the individual, but the formal one, we'll be talking about the formal one hereby, would be handshake would be the most appropriate formal etiquette that you can follow. Now, if I say formal handshake, now what formal handshake is all about? One is rising from the seat. You have to get up from your seat and offer handshake to some person with whom you are going to interact, right? Second is extend your right hand. That means even if you are a lefty, even if you use your left hand for most of the things, use right hand if you have to offer handshake. Then third is holding it for 3 to 4 seconds and making eye contact. Now, the basic things that you have to take care when you offer handshake. One is holding your right hand. Now there could be, one is you are putting your hand like this, or maybe some celebrity style like this, or maybe like this. So you have to understand that this position means at bit angle, it is a perfect position to offer handshake. Offer your right hand, and perfect position could be this angle. Secondly, whenever you extend your right hand towards the person and the person is offering the hand, never ever cross the wrist of the individual to whom you are offering the handshake. Means it's like a boundary to it. We draw a boundary here only, that you're not crossing the wrist of the individual. Second is the grip the grip is very important. If you will be having two limp fish, means it is quite loose, either you have held the fingers of the individual, it is very loose, that means you are underconfident. Your hands are shaking, or you are not gripping the hand properly, that means you are underconfident. Or the second could be, you are overconfident and you are actually giving the death grip to the person. Quite firm, quite tight, just like a death grip, that you are expressing that you are overconfident and there is nobody like you, or there is nobody above you. And the right one would be the firm grip. You know yourself what firm grip would be, neither too loose nor too tight. And along with firm grip, this is your palm area. You have to connect it to the other person, irrespective of the fact. I'm not considering your hand is short or small or big. It means you have to ensure when you are shaking the hand, you are gripping over the hand of other person. And this thing is important, that gripping the palm of the individual's hand and not crossing over the wrist of the individual. This is what a normal firm handshake would be. Next would be tapping out the hands. There might be informal handshakes whereby people have shaken hands, they are still holding the hands and then they have started talking. This actually might happen with many of the individuals, that still they are holding the hands and they are into a conversation already. Otherwise, it is like when you offer the handshake, tap for maximum 2 or 3 times and then leave it up and then get into the conversation or take the seat and take the charge. Again, other than that, just ensure that too firm is arrogance and too weak is a pushover, that means you are disinterested, right? And too firm means you are arrogant, either you are overconfident or you are arrogant enough to represent your personality, right? So, second aspect. Now, when you entered the cabin, you have extended your right hand for handshake. Now comes the way you, if you are standing, the way you stand. I'll represent it through the picture and itself. Like when you stand, always stand straight. Now, if I say stand straight, you can see this particular. Here, first we have is a poor posture, and the last we have is poor posture. You can just see me. If my shoulders are behind, meaning stiff, the shoulders are stiff, Usually the rule is stomach in, chest out, your shoulders should be stiff, your head should be straight, neither too loosened up nor too extended or firm, right? It has to go normal, your back should be straight and the posture should be like upright, balanced upright posture. Never ever loosen up your shoulders like this, it represents your lack of confidence, or at least you do not have energy, right? So this is a good posture whereby you have a balanced upright posture. No rounded shoulders, no swaying up the back. It's like bulging out the tummy or maybe pulling your shoulders down, right? This way. Some important aspects. When we are standing, how your feet should be placed, right? One could be that the gap between the feet has to be taken care of. Gap means gap between right and left feet. It could be once people might say that putting up or keeping the feet close is good. No, it is not. Neither keeping the feet close or nor at a very distance, both of these things are incorrect. The distance, the appropriate distance would be the distance that you have of your shoulder. Just look up and you can see that the distance between your feet should match up the distance comparatively, means close to it. It should match up the distance of your shoulder. That would be a nice posture. How? Because your body would be balanced. When your body would be balanced, automatically you will stand still, you will stand straight, that means, right? And the direction of your toes. I'll explain direction means when you are putting up your feet down, neither it should be like this, right? I'm explaining it through my hands itself. Neither it should be like this, nor it should be the toes should be outside. It should be at angle 5 to 15 degree angles, right? It should be like this. Then avoid the D-shaped or L-shaped postures. That means you are extending your one leg towards the right side and bending down your body towards the left side, or vice versa cases, right? Then sitting with your tummy is a big no-no, or standing also. Standing with your tummy out is also a big no-no. I'm not talking about the body structure. I'm saying when you deliberately, out of lack of confidence, you tend to do the same. So ensure that you notice these things in you. And one very important aspect, learning a good body language is not one-time thing. It's like you have to practice, and the results would surely come.